The crisis in Ukraine is rapidly escalating after Russia began a full-scale invasion. Here is what we know so far. President Vladimir Putin authorised what he called a special military operation in the Donbas region, but within minutes, bombing was heard in the capital of Kyiv. At least 4 other cities have come under heavy shelling, and that includes the city of Kharkiv in the northeast, Mariupol in the southeast, and in Odessa. Dozens of people have been killed, and hospitals are among the locations being targeted, which could amount to war crimes. Western officials report Russian troops are entering the country from 3 key access points. This map shows how far the conflict has spread. Russia's gains include seizing control of the old Chernobyl nuclear power plant, the Kharkiv plant, and an airfield about 15 kilometres outside the capital of Kyiv. The Defence Ministry also claims the assault has neutralised Ukraine's airbases and air defences, destroying 74 military ground facilities, and that includes 11 airfields. There's been widespread international condemnation. Britain and the US have imposed further heavy sanctions. And as night falls across Ukraine, a mass exodus is underway by residents trying to flee the violence. Mariupol was one of the first areas targeted at the start of the invasion. Alex Rossi is there and filed this report.
It is a terrifying constant thunder. Explosions booming across this coastal city. It's been going on for hours now. And this is a population in shock. They just stop and stand, traumatised by a war they did not start and do not want. In the distance, artillery rains down on Ukrainian positions. The defence of the outskirts may not last long. Some families grab what they can. This little girl carries her bucket and spade. There have already been attacks on civilian areas, this place targeted by rockets, presumably to terrorise the population.
It happened about half an hour ago. Lots of people live here. Quite a few of the windows of the houses have been blown out by the blast. The front lines are over in that direction.
There is a huge amount of destruction here, and people are worried there could be another salvo at any time.
You see all the broken glass and brickwork down here. This is where this man lives.
Jacob shows me inside his house. It's been wrecked. His great-grandson was hit by shrapnel as he slept.
13 лет. 13 лет. Кисть вот так вот. Вот, смотрите, кровь какая, вот.
There are still signs of life in the city centre, but this is not normal. They're trying to get supplies. No one here knows when the Russians will arrive, but they can hear the fighting is getting closer.
There is a feeling of absolute dread in this city. Over the last 5 minutes, we've heard the sound of very intense artillery barrages on the outskirts. Now, some people are coming out. You can hear it there. They're queuing at this ATM for money. They're also stocking up on supplies at the supermarket, checking their phones, calling their relatives, really worried about what is going to happen next.
In the queue, waiting patiently, we find Margarita. She's frightened, but defiant.
Конечно, оставаться. Мы город не собираемся покидать. Это наша страна, это наш город. Мы его любим.
Ukrainian forces are trying to fight, setting up positions now inside the city. But as we filmed, the war felt very close. With bombs dropping, families hunker down in damp and gloomy basements. They don't know when this storm of fire will pass. Ludmila, a mother of 2, still can't understand why Russia wants to destroy her country.
Мы уже через такое прошли в 2014 году. Лучше побыстрее это все закончилось. Людей в покое оставить.
Ukraine is a nation of suffering. The next hours will be filled with misery and fear as people cower in the dark from Vladimir Putin's war machine. Alex Rossi, Sky News,